Welcome to Buckeyes and Beyond. Here are your hosts, Jeff and Mike.
Hey, what's up? We're back after a couple weeks here. Coming back with another episode of Buckeyes and Beyond. I'm Jeff. That's Mike.
How's it going, guys?
So we're going to touch on a few things, kind of go over some stuff that's been in the news over the last week. We won't kind of go full 2 weeks of, not that there's a ton of stuff anyway.
There's
some
enough
interesting stuff out there.
Yeah, there definitely has been.
Yeah, so there was a report that came out here recently about just the other day about how the players, NCAA passed the, if you want to call it, new policy that players can take advantage of their name and likeness. So there was a company called Open Doors. I don't know. I don't know if it's like sports marketing or what, but they think that they can estimate how much these guys could make off of their social media, presence, I guess, so to speak. Like these models do,
Yeah,
pushing diet pills and Spanx and
salad dressings.
Yeah, right. And whatever else. I was going to say something, but it was kind of inappropriate. Let's keep it clean.
Yeah.
Pushing whatever else, next to some rich guy's pool, so
Which one of these guys is really going to become the next Ashley Graham, who is a Instagram model who became famous?
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not the most. That's that way of earning income is not the most dignified.
Hey man, if it's going to make you some cash,
I guess
I'm sure that there will be plenty of them that will do it.
Yeah. I mean, long as they don't, I mean, I guess if you're gonna push shitty product, as long as you don't have to dance while you're doing it on TikTok.
Unfortunately, most of them probably would.
Yeah, wasn't there something where, who was it that had he had like a side business selling the products, Advocare. Who was that was like pushing Advocare on the side? And they kind of were like, hey, you can't do that. I don't know if it was Troy Smith. I thought it was a quarterback or something. Or no, it was Braxton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he would post stuff, and they were we were
That's
saying,
right, because I remember.
Yeah,
I remember he didn't get into trouble, but the NCAA kind of stepped in and kind of questioned whether or not he can actually do that. Because I think he started it during his senior year. So
yeah, it was right before he would have went pro.
Yeah.
But here, I'll bring up the graphic that I found. I'll bring this up here. So here's a graphic. Hopefully it shows up pretty well for mobile. Yeah,
Okay.
Send that a little bit more. So, I'll do that. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, Justin Fields, he can reach, by the time next season comes around.
Right.
Whenever this kicks in, I'm not even sure. Regardless, who cares? So they say, he might get up to 500,000 Instagram, and they're saying per post value of over $11,000.
That's ridiculous.
Pushing some whatever shitty product maybe it'll be Reichert.
Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, it's always locally you always see guys on like car dealership commercials.
Oh yeah, that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, it's like the guy's like, "Hey, I'm here with Justin Fields. Hey, Justin, what do you think about these great prices on new Ford cars?" And he's like, "I think they're great.
I
would
think
drive
Ford
one."
is the best car company out there, and if you come down here to Mark Wahlberg's Chevrolet, even though they don't sell Fords, I think you can find a great car here.
Yeah,
It's like they're so stone cold.
yeah.
They're so stone cold.
Hey, what's his Fred Reichert's son's name? I don't even know.
Oh, Rick.
Oh my God, Rick Reichert.
Yeah.
Rick
or it's some really bad football. It's like, come down to Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet, score a touchdown, and get a good deal.
Yeah, they a bunch of bad puns and he's like, we're dealing. Oh wait, we're dealing. But yeah, so yeah, like Twitter followers that'll start booming upwards. But yeah, I mean, look at that.
Yeah, that's
so
a lot, man.
So yeah, Garrett Wilson even, Jalen Gill. I mean, look at
I'm
Jalen
surprised
Gill.
Jalen Gill has that many.
Yeah. This guy's like Master Teague if he comes back. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that could end up being in this range by next year. Bunch of guys. Zach Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's some, some guys probably don't even want to be on social media. No, it's not, not everybody does it, especially with Instagram and Twitter, and not everybody wants to, but
I mean, and let's just say, yeah, I mean, and let's just say, Julian Fleming starts off and has a great year. I mean, his numbers are going to jump up here too. So.
Yeah, right. G. Scott,
Mm-hmm.
we saw him. It was kind of interesting to see G. Scott. He was out there doing some training with Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like Richard Sherman must think pretty highly of him to, think he can get something out of. I'm frozen.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Anything else? Any better?
You're back, but you're still frozen.
This happened last time, but remember that time I was never frozen?
Yeah, it happened during the draft, but you were never frozen, so that could be what's going on here too. You actually may very well not be frozen on the call, so.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on.
I can't see what you're doing. I can just hear you, so.
Oh, okay. Well, oh well. What about if I screen share?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
That works.
It still works. Yeah, the
works.
screen share works.
All right. So I tried to disable the camera in Skype, and but yeah, I think it might be your side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the screen share was working. Now it's not. If you did, because now I just got like a black screen in front of me. So if you did try to share something, it's not there.
It's not working?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it may still work on the feed for the video, but just I couldn't see anything on my end, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's your internet or your device.
It could be on my end.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We'll just keep going.
All right.
I just have to listen.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. It kind of brings up another point where here we are with Harbaugh's open letter to the NCAA.
Yeah.
He had allow his proposal to allow student athletes and their families to the ability to consult agents and lawyers about playing professionally without affecting their college eligibility. Kind of just wants to do it like the old NBA, where you just come straight out of high school if you want. I mean, but you know, if they're drafted, they forego the remaining
Yeah.
collegiate eligibility. If they're not drafted and choose not to sign a contract, they can return.
Yeah, he on the surface, I understand it and I get it. I just think when you are talking about football and basketball, you are talking about two completely different sports when it comes to guys being really ready to play on a professional level at the age of, say, 18, 19 years old. I think we do have a little bit of context for something like this. Maurice Claret is probably the best example that we have of it, where he fought, and I don't remember if he won, but he went to the NFL draft really much earlier than what he should have based on the NFL rules, I think, and clearly he wasn't ready to play professionally. Now you could argue it was his character or his talent, but I mean that's the one example that we have, and it just never, and it didn't really pan out for him. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That was a mess back then. It's like, dude, like, yeah, he was just. I mean, you could be hard pressed to find somebody less mentally ready to go to the NFL.
yeah.
He knew it, but he got all the
Mhm.
wrong information from in
Yeah,
support. It was, yeah, that was a crazy time. And then we were left.
it's just, it was one of those situations where you could just tell that he just wasn't quite, he wasn't ready, he wasn't going to be ready, and it was made pretty evident that you know it was just a bad situation. I mean, so you could use that as a pretty good example of what it could be for on the really bad side of things.
Yeah, that 2003 team, we were so close to. We were just so close. We missed that 03 team missed him so bad. I mean, it was amazing how well they did considering with Lydell Ross and Maurice Hall back there in the backfield. I mean, and with because I mean they did not have anything compared to Claret. Claret was healthy and on. I mean, those guys didn't hold a candle to him.
No, I mean uh, they, they weren't even on they weren't even on the same level as him.
No.
And it so I get Harbaugh's argument, and like I said, on the face value of it, it's a reasonable argument. But you also have to look at past experiences and to see that it's just not really a good idea. Like I said, the NBA versus the NFL for for young kids, it's two completely different sports, two completely different ways, or two completely different games, and it's just the NBA has a history of it working, so the NFL just does not. And Harbaugh's letter, I don't think is really going to change much.
No, it was one of those things where it was kind of like it's good that he put it out there. You just get some conversation going. I mean, they nobody's talked about that for a while. um, I mean, the whole thing where it's like they is it in their best interest? Usually, no.
No, of
But
course not.
I think coaches probably get tired of hearing, you know, get tired of dealing with kids who really have no interest in college education. So they're almost just a risk once they get in there of just being ineligible. It's
Yeah,
just a big headache, and they have no interest of going to school. They just think it's like a football factory, literally, and
no,
they just
and to a certain extent, though, I mean that's sort of what it is at different universities. Now we sort of have ourselves to really blame for it because we as a society have turned, college football into one of the biggest sporting events in the country. I mean, some could even argue that it's way more popular than even the NFL. So I mean, we sort of made it what it is, which makes kids really care less and less about even going to class. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something that works better in basketball, and but it
mhm.
also, I mean, it also just waters down the college sport so bad.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next point too. Is that if it were to actually happen, college, then college football is just going to be an absolute mess. It's going to be such a watered down product.
Yeah, and it's not like the NFL has any sort of like developmental league.
No,
I mean, they don't have that at all. I mean, anything that they at one time, long time ago, they had like NFL Europe was kind of like
right,
the
right.
kind of
Which
thing.
was actually pretty fun, and
Yeah,
I think it really did serve a pretty good purpose because you did have some guys that actually came from that league and did pretty well.
yeah, yeah.
Kurt Warner,
It was
I
kind of
think, played in it.
Kurt Warner.
I think he played
Did he
in.
play for like something like Hamburg or something like
Yeah,
that?
I don't
Um,
remember, but I mean, there was a couple guys that did pretty well
Amsterdam.
coming out of that. Now, oh, okay.
Brad
Um,
Johnson played for London, and John Kitna played for Barcelona.
See, yeah, I mean, I mean, it did work. I don't remember exactly why they pulled the plug on it. I think they couldn't really keep it up financially, but
Which is like,
the
can you
NFL,
imagine that? Like,
yeah,
really?
I know. I don't understand how they couldn't, but I would say that now they probably could, you know, keep that up. But I think that the NFL has said, well, why do we have or why would we have a actual, a actual developmental league when that's essentially what what college football is. So they don't really have a need for it because they already have one, and it's called college football. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing where the thing where he says there's a couple points in it. It's almost like you know there could be some like give and take. Um, not letting them leave so early, not allowing them to leave so early because it's just not in their best interest.
no,
But there are a couple points that where if a guy's not drafted, can he return?
that
Because I've
actually
seen
would
it.
make sense to me.
Yeah, because the NBA, I don't. The NBA used to do that,
Yeah, I don't know if they still do, but I do know that they did that for a long time.
but it was a thing where if you didn't sign with an agent, though, I
Yeah,
think that's the whole key. But what are the chances of that? Some kid thinks he's going to be like top 3 rounds. He's not going to hire an agent. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Jalen Marshall's the most recent one. That's like, what were you doing?
Yeah, I was actually going to use him as a example. Well, no, actually, because he did get drafted, I think, in like the 6th or 7th round, right?
Yeah,
Or was he
yes, tail
undrafted?
end.
Okay.
Tail end. Let's see, NFL draft.
Yeah, I think he was a 6th or 7th round pick.
No, he was an undrafted free agent.
Okay. Yeah, see, so that would be a perfect example, but you you actually asked the perfect question for him, which is why? Why on God's green earth did he even decide to even enter the draft? I have no idea.
Yeah, another
He
guy.
had, he had,
Just wait.
yeah,
Like the time will come. Like seriously, he was a redshirt sophomore who caught like, oh my gosh, I don't
what did he
like,
catch? Like maybe 25 balls.
yeah, like he was like a third receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next year, it would have been his year to be the number one guy because they had guys that actually left. So
Yeah,
it just
Smith.
didn't make any sense for him. Yeah. Devin Smith left, and he could have been the next number one.
Yeah, he was. Let's see. Hold on. I'm not freaking seeing it. What crap is that? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so like 38 catches in 2014. He had, as a freshman, 38 catches for about 500 yards. Next year, about the same, 36 catches for 477 yards. Yeah, he was a returner, just kind of average punt returner, and like, I mean, yeah, it's just like nothing that is like going, oh my God, he's got to get to the NFL.
Yeah, there was never anything that said you have got to enter the draft. There was never. I can't think of anybody that thought that it was a really good.
Yeah, when no one even thought he was going to leave.
No, I had no clue. I mean,
no buzz. It was like, it was more like, oh, next year, Jalen's going to be like the maybe number one receiver or something, like that would be awesome. It's like, no, he's leaving. What?
Yeah, in fact, I think I remember telling my dad whenever I found out, and my dad said, "What? Why?" that was his exact response was, "What? Why?" It was, it's like there's no reason for you to leave. What are you doing?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find. Yeah. So their receivers that year. Let's go back. Their receivers that year were,
would have been him and Devin Smith, and
Samuel was the leading receiver. That tells you.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, they needed him bad. It's amazing they were able to do as well because it was like Noah Brown. That was the year with Noah Brown.
And he is another one who should have stayed in school too.
Yeah.
Noah Brown.
He had one good game, and it was like,
Oklahoma game.
His season that year was 32 catches for 400 yards.
He was like a 7th round pick to the Cowboys, I think. So
barely got drafted. I think 7th round, 239th pick. Totally worth leaving early for.
That was ridiculous.
But yeah. I mean, they kind of were like, see, it's Samuel. I mean, but he was mostly out of the backfield.
Right.
Weber, and then Dontre Wilson,
who was an absolute bust.
Yeah, he had like 27 catches. Like, Noah Brown, 32 catches. KJ Hill, and then Marcus Ball, and that was about it. So I mean, they could have used him so much that year.
Yeah, and he would have been the guy.
Yeah,
coming back.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what that year. That year was the. That was the one where they lost to Penn State on the.
Oh, okay.
The block was that the blocked.
The block field goal that got sent back for a touchdown.
And then they got blown out against Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Sugar Bowl, I think the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 38-0 beat down that we suffered. God.
Yeah. So I mean, it could have used him so much that year. I mean, I don't know if that would help against Clemson, but deeper issues there. But
Yeah, and that was sort of gonna be my next point. Is you sort of have to wonder if he just left because he absolutely wanted any kind of money he could get, whether it was a 7th round pick or a undrafted free agent. I mean, the league minimum is still 6 figures. So I mean, you just kind of got to figure that he just wanted something, and he just didn't want to wait for it.
yeah. I mean, the problem is like those late round picks. There's no guaranteed money. I mean,
No,
you're
there's
gonna
not.
scratch and claw.
Yep.
Scratch and claw to stick on the roster, and
Yeah.
hope to get another contract. But yeah,
Which
no
he obviously
guaranteed
didn't.
money.
I don't think he's even in the league. I mean,
Noah
he
Brown.
actually did play for a season, I think, with the Jets, but or maybe a couple seasons. Or no, I'm thinking of Devin Smith. Sorry, I'm not thinking of. I don't remember who Jalen Marshall signed with as a free agent, but
Jets.
okay,
Then he went to CFL. And that's where he
okay,
still was. Last I heard, with
okay.
Hamilton Tiger Cats. And then yeah, Noah Brown. He's still in the league. He's
Is he
still on
really?
the Cowboys roster. Yeah, there was even an article in Texas. Where they were saying, "Is this the year Noah Brown steps up for the Cowboys?" But now they've added so much at receiver. It's like,
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna be able to even see the
he's just gonna,
field.
yeah, he's just going to be like, yeah. I mean, he might have a shot at getting like a fourth receiver spot, but
Maybe. Yeah.
maybe, yeah. It's just, I mean, they added CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they got Cooper and Gallup. So I mean,
Yeah,
there's
well,
just really no shot at him even getting on the field. Except you're right, maybe as a fourth guy. But I mean, I mean, teams don't even really use 4 wide that often nowadays. So
yeah. Let's see what Dallas Cowboys. I want to say there was another free agent.
that they signed in the offseason?
Yeah, but no. Well, I don't know. Devin Smith is on here now. Yeah, Devin Smith is on their roster.
Cowboys
So,
roster?
yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yep.
I didn't know he was even still in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. He was injured and yeah, um, he was trying to find his way back. But yeah, Devin Smith and Noah Brown are on there. But yeah, they're fighting for fourth and fifth receiver spots.
Wow.
So it's tough. I mean, they got right now. I mean, it seems like they got like a ton of receivers that they're going to bring to camp coming this.
Yeah, they really are.
But there's like 9 guys listed after the top. So they're going to bring a ton of receivers to camp to go for those fourth and fifth. And I mean, I don't know if they'll keep 6 receivers on a 53 man or not, but that seems
Most
kind
teams
of
do. I think keep 6. Although sometimes they only keep 5. But so
I would think 6 would be like pushing it.
yeah,
So,
that
but
probably would.
then again, if a guy's a returner too,
Yeah,
then
then he can. Yeah, I mean, he can usually claim that that fifth or that sixth spot on the
yeah, for the
roster.
Cowboys,
So
last year they used Tony Pollard, backup running back, a kick returner, and Jordan Lewis, corner from Michigan. We remember Jordan Lewis.
yeah, I remember Jordan Lewis.
He's a returner. So,
Devin Smith could maybe make his name as a punt returner for him, because he did that for the Buckeyes in a few games.
yeah,
No, Noah Brown, I don't remember him ever doing punts. So
no. So yeah, it was like I think then Jalen Marshall took it over a lot.
yeah, so he could actually make a spot. Well, no, I'm sorry, he's not on that roster. We were just talking.
No. Oh wait. Oh yeah, Jalen Marshall. No.
Yeah.
Just I don't even know where if he's still in CFL or what. Um,
Well, if he was on the Tiger Cats and he briefly played with Johnny Football, so
yeah,
he always had that to say that he was briefly a teammate of Johnny Football.
yeah, yeah, they still have him. Yeah, they still have him with Hamilton Tiger Cats,
Okay.
as far as I know. Yeah, we can see here. So, yeah. You see, let me check something real quick. Can you see my screen again?
Nah, it's just blank.
That's weird. I bet you it would show up on the.
Yeah, it'll probably show up on the feed.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see here. Moving on. Let's go to so Buckeyes recruiting news. We saw Emeka Egbuka. I
Emeka
think
Buka.
we talked
Yeah.
about him on here before, but he's like the. I guess they're saying, what is he like saying that he's like the number one athlete?
Yeah, he's the number one wide receiver in the class of 2021. He's out of the state of Washington. Same high school as G. Scott, who was one of the 5 incoming freshman wide receivers that the Buckeyes had this year. So
See if
I don't remember what his actual size is, but I know he's pretty good size. But he listed his top 4 schools: Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Washington. I think were the top 4.
Yeah, I'm sharing a highlight.
That's kind of what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah, he's made like 2 one-handed catches in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete. Do you have his numbers there for his size? Because I don't remember what his actual size was.
6'1", 190.
Okay. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller than what I thought. Okay. Still,
So
he'll
yeah,
probably get listed as like, as like 6'2",
we showed
210 pounds. Probably what he'll get.
we showed this was that one where we showed his video before where he's like playing against some really bad defense.
Oh yeah, where he's playing against some really
Like when
inferior
it's like
opponents.
and he's just like kind of waiting for him, and then like spun around, like he just got his crossed over in basketball. And, yeah, it's pretty bad. But let's see, one more long ball. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I've always, in fact, one of the recruiting sites who I follow pretty heavily is we actually follow them on Twitter, and now their name it sort of, I can't remember it now, but Jeremy Birmingham has said for a long time that he's pretty certain that he is actually going to, that he will make his way here. So I'm kind of surprised that it's kind of gotten, drawn out as much as it has. But I guess he just sort of wanted to kind of, go through this whole process just to kind of see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah. So his top 4 are Washington, Ohio State, Clemson, and Bama.
No.
Kind of the.
I don't think it was Bama. I think it was Oklahoma.
Oh, what's right? Yeah. You're right. Sorry, I saw the Crimson.
No.
Yeah. Saw that, and then I took it. Yeah. Then I was like, then I wrote it down wrong again. I guess once I saw Clemson, I saw Bama.
Yeah, that's just sort of what you do. But no, I read the article on it, and he had a lot of nice things to say about all of them, which, of course. But it seems to me Washington is only on that list just because they're, that's where he lives. So I don't know if they really stand much of a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably down. That would probably come down to us and Clemson, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, Dabo's doing he's trying to work his magic now on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
That
he's
was
dancing in his
embarrassing.
kitchen and with football receiver gloves on, we're really trying to relate to the kids.
Jeez.
Talking about his Dabo and his drip. he's really,
So
he's a walking meme with the hey kids, like what's the Buscemi from that one joke, gif where he's like, yeah, he's like the old guy walking in and trying to undercover.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you think? And I have no idea, so I'll just kind of ask you because you have a son who's probably as close to your son is much closer to a college age than than mine are. Do you think those kids would see through Dabo getting on, doing something like that because he's never done it, or would they, or
no? I think
do they see through it, or do they think it's really cool?
No, I think they would think it's super cringe.
Yeah,
say super cringe.
Yeah,
but then again,
because I just think kids would probably see through that as like, well, this dude's never been on any kind of, TikTok. And now all of a sudden, this dude, he actually puts out his, top 4. And now all of a sudden he's doing this. And it's just, it just seems like most kids would probably see through that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my outside of Clemson fans who think he can do no wrong, it was consensus. This is super cringy.
Yeah.
So
it just doesn't. It sort of smells of a little bit of of desperation. Not saying that Clemson is really desperate because they've got a great program there, but it sort of comes off that way that excuse me, that he's really desperate to really grab this kid for whatever reason. So
yeah, he's an evangelical televangelist sort of vibe about him.
Yeah.
You could totally see him in a suit and blowing the wind of God.
Kenneth Copeland, yeah, where he's the Kenneth Copeland of college football. Yeah. Emeka Abuka, God says, get down to Clemson.
I blow
to the northwest and bring Emeka Abuka down to the Clemson earth.
God is calling you, Emeka. God is Satan. The devil is in Bama. The devil is in Ohio State. When Jesus returns, he'll come to Clemson University.
He's going to pound that rock like everybody else does.
Yeah. Jesus is going to run down that hill, boy. Don't they have a hill there? Yeah, they
have a hill and the rock where they actually pound the rock and then they just run right down the hill. Yeah.
That hill's like fairly steep. It's like a steep.
Yeah.
I always wonder if it was somebody.
If somebody falls down it when they're running out the tunnel.
They'll just create like this, it's like that one you ever seen that meme of the elevator, the escalator goes down and people are like flying down it, like
no, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, that's the thing a lot of people use, like the whole like people rushing to see something, or it's like people the first person trips and all of a sudden it creates like the tumbleweed of people on top of each other.
I don't know why, but every time I hear escalator, I automatically think mall rats.
No, Get that kid
Jason
off the
Lee.
escalator.
Yeah. So great. Jason Lee goes off about the escalator. Them all rats.
It's gonna be a bloodbath. Somebody tell that kid
to respect the escalator.
So yeah, let's couple more things. Let's LA Rams. They changed their uniforms, and I guess they're changing the uniforms because it's not even an alternate. It's a full-fledged change.
They changed it, and apparently the Rams have just essentially turned themselves into a Saturday morning cartoon.
So I'm showing their little on their Twitter feed. I'm showing it about where they show what the evolution's stop.
Yeah, stop, please.
Fine.
Yeah.
No, stop. Yeah, because I like the white and blue ones that those are alternates, but now they're just full fledged. It looks like friggin' XFL. League uniform. It's kind of cheap.
They're so cartoony. It's
Eric
silly,
Dickerson,
man.
Eric Dickerson made them look soft. He says it's too I don't know, it just looks soft. And he's right. Yeah, it's just
they look soft, and
the helmets aren't bad. The helmets aren't bad.
No, I don't mind the new logo. That's fine. I mean, that really doesn't bother me, but it's that bright blue, that bright yellow. Now the alternate gray I can deal with. That's not that bad, but it's that yellow and blue mix that is just so cartoonish now and bright and chipper, and it's like, what are you doing, man?
Stop. Yeah, they call that bone, so it's kind of like an off-white. Yeah. They call it bone. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of off-white, but yeah, it has some gray tint to it. That's okay. Yeah. Keeps that yellow down.
Right, which is so hard to watch. That's why I couldn't stand their color rush jerseys. Oh my gosh, that just yellow from head to toe. Good Lord. It's like, good night. Stop it.
Yeah, it's like imagine if they turn the lights out in the stadium.
You can still see the rain.
Nerf used to make glow in the dark ball. That would be fun. Glow in the dark uniforms, shoes, and glow in the dark ball.
Oh man.
So I wonder what that would look like.
Jeez, that would be awful. Good Lord. Yeah, they're so bad, and I think I even made a text to you that their owner just wanted to give them something because they don't have a first round pick for the next 3 or 4 years, and they have almost zero space on the cap right now, so they have nothing to really get excited about. So they had to put out some new uniforms just to do something.
Because their logo was a total flop too. The new logo.
Yeah, fans didn't like it. I don't mind it. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, they're kind of, for overall consensus, they're kind of striking out so far with the.
Yeah, I think the big winner in the new uniforms were definitely the Chargers. I think those are great. Love those. Chargers and Browns. Of course, the Browns just went back to the simple, basic look, which I think is great. But the Chargers by far have the best new color combination, and all that stuff just looks really good. So.
Yeah, Browns can't branch out too far. I mean, their color scheme doesn't allow it.
No, you can't really do much with brown and orange. It is what it is. So
it's like, what's the best you can do? Like, hey guys, we're gonna darken the brown. It kind of matches in case somebody shits their pants. You won't see. We did a science. We got some scientific researches. They said they gave us the average tint of brown when somebody shits their pants. We're gonna really help our players out this year. If they shit their pants, you're not gonna see it on television.
No, I mean, now they did say that even though they weren't um, included in the first set, that they will bring back the orange pants, which I know most people don't like it. I like orange pants. I think they're really nice. As long as they're the old school orange pants, not that ridiculous crap that we had out for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, I don't like the all orange, the Color Rush all orange.
No.
And it's a little too much. You look like a damn safety mannequin or something.
Look like a giant cone standing in the middle of the field. A giant safety cone.
Yeah. Should be working on construction project on I-270 something.
No, I mean, I can deal with the pants plus like a brown jersey. I think that would be good. But to go just like all orange, that's just too much.
It's like when the Dolphins, they do that with
that.
I think it's they've done orange before. Orange with the
because they have the orange inside of their logo. So
as part of this color scheme, it's just not the part to accent, not the part to bring out in your color scheme.
Yeah. So
it's like
I mean,
that's why the Chargers never go all yellow. It's in their color scheme, but it's not the one to bring out.
No, the Chargers go with the powder blue a whole lot, which I that is my favorite, man. That powder blue, old school, that is awesome.
You don't see any college teams with powder blue. Like the only one that's ever had it kind of was Kent State, but they kind of went more. They went more darker blue.
They've gone the more dark blue and the dark yellow to sort of go with the whole golden flashes thing. So
basketball, Rhode Island is like
Rhode Island has sharp uniforms. Yeah, they are powder blue. Yeah, those are nice.
I can't think of other ones that even in basketball. I definitely
don't
there yet, but
the NBA doesn't have anybody that's even close to that I can think of.
Carolina blue.
Carolina blue is close to the powder blue.
Yeah, close, not quite. It's kind of like it's toned down a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's not a team that I can think of that really uses that. So. Yeah. Chargers definitely won the jersey, off season. They had the best. The Falcons probably came in dead last. If it's a tie between them and the Rams with that ridiculous ATL across the chest and the like half red, half black jerseys, or they're awful.
There's a Twitter account and a website. It's totally dedicated to athletics uniforms.
Yeah.
It's called UniWatch.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But the guy still runs his name's Paul Lucas. He still runs a Twitter account, UniWatch, UNI Watch.
Okay.
And, he always has stuff on there about uniforms and when somebody even anything from like the like soccer, even if soccer they change your uniforms. That's cool.
I see him talk about all that stuff. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like even had like a thing he retweeted something like somebody changed like their basketball court. They did a paint scheme on their basketball court. It's kind of cool. So.
Oh wow, I didn't know they did
all the aesthetics.
That's pretty neat.
All the aesthetics with. He's a cool follow on Twitter and stuff that anything has to do with uniforms. Because it's always kind of neat, fascinating with uniform scheme, color schemes.
Oh yeah.
Anything, all the aesthetics are kind of cool.
Always fun to talk about them.
Yeah. So, yeah, the last thing we were going to touch on was like MLB. NASCAR returns today.
Really?
Actual live race at 4 p.m.
Oh
No
wow.
fans in the stands, but full-fledged live racing, not like
Oh, I
video.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it till this morning.
Huh.
Full-fledged NASCAR race.
Wow.
Something.
I guess.
We've been having UFC, and the UFC was on last night.
Yeah.
Not a pay-per-view, but a regular. So it was actually just nice to see something. It was live and competitive.
I know.
So,
Jeez.
but yeah, MLB, like they have a proposed plan. There's nothing that's been agreed to. I don't believe so, anything yet. So, but something that they're like their return to play plan. It's kind of crazy because like, well, just they want to. It's kind of crazy because with all the testing that is required and needed for this, they want to do like upwards of like 10,000 tests a week.
What?
It's like we can't even like I don't
They
even know.
can't do that for the states right now. What are you talking about?
Just doing that, just yeah, I don't know. But so I mean, just that alone, just the idea of that is kind of crazy. To do 10,000 tests a week.
That's
to keep Major League Baseball going, starting in July, for an 82 game season, condensed season. And another thing that's kind of crazy is they're like, players will be discouraged from showering at the stadiums after games. And would not be allowed to take taxis or use ride-sharing apps on the road.
So they can only get to the games if they drive their own vehicle.
I guess so. I don't understand. High
I would
fives.
imagine.
Here's something that's even in local baseball.
Yeah.
So it starts soon. My son's club team starts next week. They start practicing next week. So high fives, fist bumps, hugs would be prohibited. As would spitting, tobacco use, and chewing sunflower seeds.
Wow.
Yeah, man, you don't want that, that stray shell,
Yeah.
It's going to have virons in it,
Lord.
Fielders would be encouraged to retreat several steps away from the base runner between pitches.
Oh, come on. You can't ask that. That's silly. So you can no longer. So you can't. So that would mean that you can essentially no longer have a possible first base pickoff play because the first baseman can't guard first base. So you just have our stolen base is just gonna rise then during all this.
If you have a guy in 82 games like steals like 200 bases, sets the record, asterisk.
Ricky Henderson would be so pissed off if that happened. His records would get shattered.
They stole Ricky's record because of a virus, man. Ricky's record got stolen.
Oh my gosh, those rules are ridiculous. It's just going to water it down. Yeah. So you would be much better off to just take the loss and worry about next season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what is in your best interest because you if they put out that watered down product, you're going to lose so much money.
Here's first and third base coaches are not to approach base runners or umpires, and players should not socialize with opponents.
You're taking the entire game away. You're going to turn it into like a fifth grade.
Nobody's going to follow.
Ball game or something.
A ball will be thrown away after it is touched by multiple players.
What?
And throwing the ball around the infield will be discouraged.
What the hell, man? You can't. It's. Oh my gosh.
Pitchers
So
would have their own set of balls to throw during bullpen sessions, and personnel who rub baseballs with mud for the umpires must use gloves. What?
what? So a pitcher will have his own baseball, which he can then, you know, he could probably doctor up if he wants to, because the umpire is not going to check it because he can't check the ball because he can't touch it. And I'm not saying that would happen. I'm just saying that's. I mean, there's so many things that are going to go wrong if you start a season with all these ridiculous rules in place.
I mean, it's going to end up having some like a Lysol in a bug sprayer. Like, it's not even gonna be. It's gonna be it's gonna have it's gonna be touchless, and it'll just start firing off Lysol, whatever you're trying to. It's like you wave your hand on it, and it just starts firing Lysol at you. Just big clouds of Lysol everywhere on the field. Disinfect whatever they want to disinfect.
Yeah, instead of the umps having a little broom for home plate, they're gonna have a whole can of freaking Lysol just start spraying throughout the joint.
Yeah, I know here in Ohio the guidelines are saying coaches have to wear masks. Players don't when they're on the field, but in the dugout they gotta wear a mask. And then umpires are supposed to wear masks, under their umpire mask. That sucks. That's not.
No.
There's umpires that are sitting out this season.
I don't really blame them.
They're like, screw this. I don't need the extra money that bad.
No, Major League Baseball needs to just eat the loss and just start focusing on next spring. That's it. It's would make no sense. Now, NBA was already playing games, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but Major League Baseball needs to just eat this season. I mean, you would have already lost half of the season, so it doesn't make any sense to have a watered down. Now, if they could come back and play exactly like the game should be played, that's fine. But you can't bring it back with all these rules and all these different stipulations that is going to completely change what the game looks like. It's just going to water it down, and nobody is even going to care. So,
yeah, it's just going to be a constant.
Yeah, and then let's say that they do have that season. Whoever wins the World Series is never really going to be thought of as a true champion because you want it. So it would be like the Spurs 1999 championship. There should be a asterisk next to it because it was during a shortened strike season. That is essentially how the champion would look like.
Yeah, It's just like something. It's almost like they're just trying to get something in. It's like a better than nothing sort of.
Yeah, but a lot of times better than nothing means that it's worse.
Yeah, right. Yeah, better than nothing. And there's guys that they don't want to get paid. They don't want to get paid a third of what they're normally getting paid to do something that has risk to it, and it's just going to affect the quality of the product, and it's like to them it's like they'd rather just sit it out and just train for the next year.
Yeah, which actually makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, plus how much have these guys been really working out, practicing on their swing or their fielding skills, and you're going to rush them back on to the field, even without all those rules in place. The product is going to be watered down for the first month at least because guys are going to be so rusty from not being able to really do anything for the past 3-4 months. So it's still going to be a watered down product no matter what.
Yeah. If it was simply like like a money thing that the players, if that's all it was just kind of like a simply a salary negotiation, and the MLB, like they were saying, hey, we're losing money because of empty ballparks. If it was simply like if it was simply a revenue thing, that was the hurdle, and that was the negotiation factor, and it wasn't like all this other stuff, rule changes and added caveats to this and that,
Right.
because one way that they could make that back was to put for this year, put sponsors on uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
True.
but
That would make sense.
yeah. But
Plus, here is one more point. So let's say that you actually do start. Um, what about all of the minor league teams? I mean, they have to actually travel by bus usually.
they're
I
they're
mean,
not like they're not going to do anything.
oh, okay. So
So
those
there's
guys
no
just wouldn't even
Clippers.
play.
Yeah, there's no Columbus Clippers this year. Like zero
Oh,
zero. They're not
so
bringing it back at all.
yeah,
Yeah. Which yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's just a bad idea. It,
yeah.
it it's just there's nothing good that is going to come from it except for some laughs.
Yeah. It's just yeah, it's crazy.
And me as a Blue Jays fan, which I know is an odd thing to hear from someone that lives in Columbus, but I was really looking forward to this year because they had a really stud lineup that was going to start to really take take shape. So I
Yeah.
really wanted to actually play.
Yeah,
So
they're on the rise for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, these teams are just losing so much money
yeah,
by not having. Here, listen to these things. These are kind of crazy. So they're saying that teams say the proposed method of salvaging a season delayed by a COVID-19 pandemic would cause a $4 billion loss and would give major league players 89% of the revenue. They contend they lose more money with each additional game played. The Players Union, however, believes clubs would lose less money with more games. In addition, many teams or their owners have stakes in their regional sports network that would benefit from additional games. So owners voted Monday proposed salaries to be based on a 50-50 split of revenue. Of framework players say is tantamount to the kind of salary cap. Oh yeah, there's a salary cap too. They will
yeah.
never accept. Teams gave the Players Association the virus testing plan Friday and have waited to make their economic proposal. The Yankees alone would have $312 million in local losses when calculating their earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. New York's figure includes about $100 million in payments towards the bonds that financed the new stadium, starting in I forget what year that was, like 2008, something like that. So
Lord.
Dodgers are at $232 million in local losses. Mets at they're over $200 million. Cubs $200 million. Red Sox almost that. Um, yeah. So
I mean, yeah, it's bad that all these teams are going to lose money, and but and that's why I understand why they want to rush this on the field. Which it, it also bothers me too that these owners. Well, it it bothers me, but it doesn't. But it doesn't surprise me that these owners want that they don't care if it's a bad product. They just want to make some money. But that really bothers me that they would just be okay putting out a horrible product
yeah, I don't.
and want
I
to
mean,
take the fans' hard-earned money for a bad product.
yeah, I don't know how their money how the money works. Like, how's the revenue stream coming? I guess if they don't have anything to put on TV, I guess if the networks can't pay them, I guess that's an ongoing
Yeah, I don't
revenue
really know how that
stream.
works.
Because they didn't make a deal. I'm sure that the deals with the networks and, like, let's say, you know, obviously the revenue stream from MLB extra innings and MLB.TV goes go by when there's no
Right.
season, there's no baseball to watch.
No.
But I mean, but how does the deals with Fox, Turner, ESPN, you know, how
Yeah,
does
I don't know how that works because, like you said, there's probably nothing in the contracts to really explain something like this. This is, unprecedented, and there's nothing in any kind of contracts that would ask this kind of question or would even that. So it's probably something that they're going to have to work out, you know, separately from the contracts. And I have no idea how they're going to settle it.
yeah, I don't know how they'll do because like they use a lot of regional sports networks, like
Yeah,
the
like
Fox,
and
yes, and then like say Fox Sports Ohio, Fox Sports Northwest, Fox
right.
Sports, all those like. I mean, it's still Fox, but I guess they're regional networks. Like I don't know, LA Dodgers used to use like a Spectrum, like a Time Warner Spectrum thing.
Well, the
Um,
Indians, don't they use Sports Time Ohio?
yeah, they'd been doing that. I guess yeah, that
Yeah.
was the thing too. So yeah, it's crazy. It's really weird and complicated.
Yeah.
So everything's just play it by ear. I mean,
Yeah, that's really all that it can be right now.
um, like even my son's local club team, they start practice next week, and they're talking about just trying to just just dive into it and
Yeah, but I
tournament.
mean,
But
you can probably do that with, kids.
yeah,
I mean, that's,
you got a lot
but
of players on a roster, and you can
yeah,
it's a little easier to deal with.
yeah.
But
You just you can't do it with Major League Baseball. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do it that way.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all of it works. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
curious just to see how it actually plays itself out.
yeah, yeah. They're talking about going to a tournament in Dayton 2 weeks from yesterday, like a
Really?
Dayton tournament. Like they weren't scheduled to do it, but they were just like the coach was saying, "Oh, would you guys just want to just jump into a tournament?" And we don't. There's not a whole lot of prep, but it's all developmental anyway.
Right.
It's
I
like
mean,
it's like at least you get some. It's almost like just getting the game reps is
right. You just want to get them out there and just,
yeah.
So I mean,
Uh,
there's not really a whole lot at stake. It's just,
yeah,
trying to get them back, back out there on the field. So,
just yeah,
which I think is a really good, well, I think it's a really good idea. So,
yeah. They had like let's see, they had like between mid May and the end of May, like originally they had like probably counting scrimmages, probably like 6 games planned.
wow.
Uh,
Okay.
but they didn't. But it looks like you might be nothing besides that tournament. So because
Yeah.
of because the timeline got the stay at home order and like
Right.
that all lifts on May 26th in Ohio.
Yeah.
So you can play a game on the 26th, but
Yeah.
nobody hardly anybody had that because that was the 26th is a Tuesday. Yeah, that's a
That's an
Tuesday.
odd day for the order to be up.
26th.
That's weird on a Tuesday.
But other than that, you can start practicing anytime starting this week once they made that now. Say they want any organized activities to start until then. So like
Yeah.
organized like league stuff like so. So yeah, that's about all we got. So
Yeah.
we did an hour. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah. So at Beyond Buckeyes on Twitter. And on YouTube, we'll put the video. Hopefully, there is a actual video. If not, it'll just be the audio. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have at least audio. So
Yeah. It'll
we'll
have
see.
that.
So yeah, all right. At Buckeyes and Beyond Twitter account. Let's see, what do we got now? As far as
We got like 75 followers now.
Oh, 74.
So,
74.
yeah.
So, yeah. So
it's growing. It's
yeah.
growing slowly.
So yeah, we don't post that much on there, but here and there when there's more to talk about.
Yeah. Once there's a lot more going on, then we'll be posting a whole lot more stuff on there. So
Yeah. So subscribe on YouTube and follow on Twitter, and thanks for listening. And we'll catch you next week, hopefully, for the week after that. Depends on what's going on. So
see you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you.